Hey, what's up guys? Joseph White here, and you're watching another J-Dub Twins video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the top 5 things that I hate about my 2020 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack wide body. So let's get after it. Number 1, the gas mileage. I know guys, I talked about this in a video previously. I get it, this is a 6.4 liter naturally aspirated V8. It's going to get very little on its miles per gallon. To be specific, between 11 to 12 miles per gallon. I get that, I understand it. I can still complain about it. So that's what I'm doing here, okay? And let me preface all of this by saying these are things that I don't 100% hate about my car, right? Hate's a strong word. I think the car is a great car. It's a fun car. I love the car. However, there are 5 things that annoy me, that I hate about the car. So starting with number 1 being gas mileage. I understand the car does have cylinder deactivation. It does have its eco mode, which I never use, so kind of my fault, right? Anyways, moving on. Number 2, this car is huge, especially with the wide body package adding 3.5 inches to the width of the vehicle. These 305 width tires are housed by these wider fender flares. You know, it adds to the overall width of the vehicle. It also adds to the amount of space this vehicle takes up on the road. It sometimes feels a little, not even, you know, a little overwhelming. No big deal. As compared to the narrow body, for instance, this narrow body SXT next to me, right? But I do think that the wider body does provide a more meaner look, a more muscular look, and it just really makes this car look badass. However, you know, sometimes that wider body does get in the way. Number 3, so with this wider vehicle, we do have the wider fender flares. These wider fender flares house wider tires, and these wider tires do kick up rocks and dust and dirt into the side of the vehicle. I do wish very much that the wide body Scat Pack package also included wider side skirts, okay? This SXT next to me wants to be a cool guy. He's driving 35, or sorry, he's going probably 50 and a 35. I don't want to get pulled over, guys. Sometimes people that drive these 6 cylinders, they do have to overcompensate for their smaller, weaker engines. Anyways, moving on. I do wish the wide body package included a side skirt, wider side skirt features, okay? I think if the wide body package included side skirts that kind of filled in those empty spaces that allow for these wider tires to kick up the dirt and dust, I think that we would have less, you know, dust and dirt getting kicked up into the car. However, no big deal. Sorry, forgive me. I had to catch up. Anyways, had to show the SXT who's boss, I'm sorry. Moving on. That was a lot of fun. If the wide body package had the freaking wide skirts, if I can finish this part of it, that would be very much appreciated. Number 4, the wheel gap. So, the Scat Pack wide body received Hellcat upgrades. Because the Hellcat is a little heavier than the Scat Pack sits higher on the Hellcat springs. And the wheel gap is pretty substantial. I can fit about 4 fingers into the rear wheel well, okay? I do, however, want to look into getting lowering springs for my car. For any of you guys that know about any lowering springs that are compatible with the adaptive suspension, please come up and let me know in the comments, okay? I'd love to do a video on it. I think that with a lower stance, it can add to the aggressiveness of the look of the car, and that's something that I look forward to doing. Number 5, okay? Number 5 is a pretty big one for me, okay? My car is always getting confused for a Hellcat. There is a very distinct difference between the Scat Pack and the Hellcat, okay? Some of you would say, yes, of course, 200 to 300 horsepower. Okay, well, outside of that, I think the Scat Pack in itself is a very respectable car. We're talking about 485 horsepower, 475 pound-feet of torque. That in itself is very respectable. That is nothing to play around with. Before the Hellcats and the Demons came out, the Scat Pack, the SRT powered engine, was the Hellcat of its time. It was the most powerful engine you could get in these Dodge Chargers and Dodge Challengers. I really do wish that the Scat Pack had some more defining features outside of the Rumblebee on the side and the RT badge on the front. Actually, if you ask me, I kind of wish that it was an SRT badge instead of the RT badge. And this car gets confused for the Hellcat for good reason. They put all of the Hellcat features onto the Scat Pack. I do like this Hellcat hood. You know, the ram air inlet on the front with the dual heat extractors, I think is very functional. Honestly, I prefer it over the Hellcat Red Eyes dual snorkel hood now. But I think I would love to see maybe in the 2021 or maybe 2022, and heck, once they do the refresh in 2023, maybe they will, if they continue to do the Scat Pack models, they will have something a little more defining to show a difference between the Scat Packs and the Hellcats. Since I've owned this car in March, I've had 3 or 4 instances that I can remember where someone has asked me if this was a Hellcat. And for whatever reason, when I say that it's a Scat Pack, I've seen some reactions that were like, oh, okay, well that's still really cool. And other instances where it's almost as if the person was disappointed, which I'm like, okay, well, what do you drive, guy? For Dodge Challenger and Dodge Charger enthusiasts, by seeing the 392 Scat Pack B, they will know instantly that this is a Scat Pack Challenger. If you ask me, the Dodge Challenger Scat Pack Widebody is a legitimate shout out to the legendary muscle cars of the 70s. A naturally aspirated 6.4 liter V8 that produces respectable power. You know, to me, these are more enjoyable than the Hellcats. Why? Because it actually has usable power that these 305 tires can handle. And so because of that, you know, it gets really annoying when there are people who don't know the difference always asking if my car is a Hellcat. So there you go, guys. I mean, that's pretty much it. 5 things that I hate about my 2020 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack Widebody. I hope you guys enjoy it. Mention in the comments, guys, you know, the things that you hate about your cars. You know, honestly, these cars are very enjoyable, very fun. They're classic cars. Quite honestly, they may be, you know, on limited days, on borrowed days, because we'll see if Dodge continues the Challenger. So anyways, again, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for the next JDub Twins video. Thanks, guys.